I don't care how you was feeling before. Nope. But right now, it's time to feel good. Yeah. Let's go. I'm good. I'm good. It don't matter how my day starts off, cause I'm good. I'm good. Don't bring your negativity.
Hi everyone, I'm Korren Riley here with Terry Fletcher, and we want to welcome you to the BunLife Podcast, coming to you from Southern California. Hey Terry, how excited are you? It's football season.
I am very excited. We have all kinds of things going on, and I'm really looking forward to getting out of baseball season. 162 games is killing me. Talk about feeling like a baseball widow. So,
oh my gosh, that's way too many games.
I
way
love
too
baseball.
many.
Yeah, I love it, but every single day, 5 to 6 times a week, and it's 3 to 4 hours, and a lot of games have overtime, or what they call extra innings. And so it's just the 17-week football with some playoffs. That's so much more easier to deal with. So
I can only imagine. I couldn't keep up.
yeah, it's crazy. And for those of you that are thinking about football, excited about football, I know you have your teams you're excited about. First of all, we are on the West Coast, so we're a little spoiled. Because when I hear people going, oh, shoot, it's an early game, I'm like, this is great. It's an early game. It's at 10, and the next game is at like 1:20, and the next game's at 5. The Sunday night game's at 5:20. But then on the East Coast, they start at 1:20, and sometimes it's to midnight. And then if you throw in a London game or the England game, that when they go over there, that starts at 6 a.m. And so I don't know how people do it on the East Coast.
I wouldn't be able to hang. I mean, my bedtime is when the kids go to sleep. So there's just no way.
Yeah.
I just wouldn't be able to do it.
So you just tell your husband, okay, so let me know what happened in the game if he's still watching it.
Exactly. Next morning, wake up to a text message, or I just roll over. Like, did he fall asleep on the couch? Yeah. Like, what was his
Exactly.
mood when he fell asleep? What can I identify from how he is in the bed or whatever?
Well, it's funny because I'm a Steelers fan, and I write for one site, but I also do a blog on a site. But I also live tweet the game. So I'm not only watching the game, I'm tweeting the game on Steel City Underground Twitter site. So nobody can really talk to me. I mean, and it's funny too, because my husband is 2 clicks away from painting his face. And so he doesn't, I tell him that all the time. He's like, no, I'm not. I'm like, really? You're screaming at the TV like they can hear you. And so then what's really funny though, is that, I have a good knowledge base of football, but he gets into the technical aspects of it, where all of a sudden he'll say something about clipping or one of the penalties or something. I'm like, that sounds pretty good. And you find that in a tweet, and somebody's like, oh, she knows her stuff. Shout out to my husband.
Thanks for my material.
Thanks, Tom. I know. So that's kind of funny, but I don't know. It's funny because then the kids get into it, and and then we get the adult children. My daughter has a couple of jerseys, and but it's interesting because that takes up so much time. We've got Sundays, I mentioned, all day. We've got Monday night football, which you know that you're going to see your husband on Monday night because he's going to come home to watch it. And then you've got Thursday night, and it's just like it's football season through the holidays as well. So what do you deal with all this?
It's so intense. To be completely honest, if you can't beat 'em, join 'em is my whole motto, because I've been with my husband 11 years, and I would say in the last 5 to 6 years is really when I started just going with the flow. There was a time where I would wake up and he's already on his laptop doing fantasy football. He's got the TV going well before the games have started. Then the games have started, they go all day. And then he's in his boxers just all day on the couch. And I'll leave and come back. And I'm like, really? Still? Did you brush your teeth? Did you shower? Have you eaten? I'm sure you've eaten today. But like, it was just so intense. And then that was, when we were just the two of us. So then once the kids came into the mix, I was getting irritated because he also, as we've mentioned before, his schedule for work is conveniently Sundays and Thursdays. That was no coincidence.
Yeah.
So he would spend his entire time dedicated to football during football season, and I got the kids, but that's the only time we have together with no work is Sunday. So I realized quickly in my eyes, that you just got to go with it. And, my family, I'm not from the U.S. My dad's not from the U.S., but I grew up mostly here in the United States, and American football wasn't something I grew up with, but I always loved it. So in terms of going with it, I started getting really involved, getting the kids, like you said, jerseys and things to go with it. Inviting people over for football Sunday, coming up with recipes because I like to host. I have a kick butt buffalo chicken dip recipe that I stole from a friend if you ever need it.
Nice. Well, we're going to put that on our blog for sure.
It's so good. And you could just throw it in the crock pot, which is the best part. So yeah, I'll definitely put that on the blog. We definitely find a lot of good tidbits and tips and tricks. We throw them up there. So it's a good spot to catch any of this stuff.
Yeah, for me, football Sunday is actually, I probably get more laundry done than anything, because one of the things with my husband is that he wants to watch Steeler games, and then he's really not interested in the other games. He's like, let me know what happens. He knows how interested I am. He'll then go to the gym. I'm watching the football. I'm on the red zone. I'm on all of it. And I've got my laundry going on, and I've got an iPad with another game I wanted to watch. I mean, it's really sad.
So intense.
It's very intense. And so, for the women out there that are also football fans, I think we're an untapped market. I mean, think of all the money they can make if they really bought into the women in football. And so I think that, I think they make some, but I think they should probably do more. But, one of the things Korren and I have been talking about is, do you feel like ever you're a football widow? My brother when I was away this weekend, he's like, I've never heard that term. Like, how could you not hear that term?
It's because it's the truth. They literally fall off the face of the earth for about 12 to 16 hours. And then, God forbid, their team loses. Oh. Then you lose them emotionally, too, when they do come back to reality. And it's just intense. I started walking around the house in his, team jersey. Just the jersey, nothing else.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah, and then I took a photo when I did my boudoir shoot. So see, I have to distract him somehow away from the television. Just here,
follow
honey.
the Kansas City Chiefs and me as I walk that way.
There she goes.
Yeah, they're Chiefs fans, and
yes, we're a Chiefs household.
And we are Steeler fans, so we've got the AFC definitely covered on our podcast and everything. But it's funny. You really have to either you beat them or join them. I mean,
really,
you can really complain about it. You can say this is awful, and I don't know how, the husbands, the wives, the partners, anybody out there, significant others deal with it. But let us know. I mean, we'd love to hear from you because, if you ever want to let us know in a photo, we'd love to see your photo.
Heck yeah, the funnier the better.
Yeah, let us know what's going on because it's definitely one of the topics that's out there, and we continue to hear about the topic. And one of the things that comes up all the time is, do you leave the kids so you can run your errands so that dads are babysitting? And that alone has us kind of pondering the stereotype, our dad's babysitting. And I'm going to defer to you on that one because you've got small kids.
Yeah, I'm fortunate that my husband is very involved with the kids, but I would say that when I leave the kids with him, strategically so, on a football Sunday, I definitely don't know what I'm coming back to. I do run my errands. You were saying you do your laundry. I often will go get my nails done. I'm like, the kids are safe. They'll stay there. They'll be good to go. I'm not really sure. I'm pretty positive that the house will be messier when I get back.
They're eating buffalo chicken dip.
Yep, eating my dip. Yes. But you just kind of let it go, and they're gonna be in their pajamas when you get home still, and a good thing it's just a Sunday. But yeah, it's kind of like a double dip of sorts, having the TV on it. But the kids, that's how they get exposed to it, and they get used to, it's football, and then they get excited about it, and it becomes a family thing.
It does become a family thing. I think the toughest thing when it comes to the football and it is the NFL out there is just the fact when it comes towards the holidays, and we've got to get Christmas shopping done, and we've got stuff, we've got commitments with family, and it's like, okay, but there's football on. And so, and then now that it's 2 nights a week as well, sometimes I think that, since I'm so involved in it, I'm sure Tom feels like a football widow, but he's the one that's like, okay, really? So when I said, I want to watch this game, he's like, and he always asks me this, which is really funny. one of the things that him and I do, and we were talking a little bit about making time, for your spouse on one of our blogs. And we're actually going to have a podcast on it later in the year. But he'll say to me on Sunday night, because he, Monday through Friday teacher, you want to go down for the beach a while? And I'm looking at him like, but there's a Sunday night game starting at 5:15. And so I'm terrible. I need to say, yes, honey, I do want to go down to the beach with you for a while. And so, we were just trying to figure out what is a good way to balance this? Do you basically say, okay, we're going to schedule out of the 12-hour day of football, 3 hours is dedicated to family time? Or how do you do that? I mean, now that we have DVRs,
Actually, that's really helped us. I'm actually a real sucker for a DVR.
Me too.
My husband has definitely created a monster. Like, just DVR it,
Yeah.
But I had to sit down several times with my husband, like, hey, look, football, Sundays, I mean, life still happens.
Right.
We still have to go grocery shopping. We still have to do those things. You still have to spend time with us and create that balance, like you were saying. So, we agreed that we would kind of work around the Chiefs game, which thankfully is usually at 10 a.m. or
right,
1.
Me too. It's
yeah,
10 or
usually
1.
10
Yeah,
or 1.
10 or 1.
So, but the problem is that that means that we're starting our day at like 3 o'clock when everything closes at 6 or 7. Right. But we still, it's a compromise. And again, if you can't beat them, join them. So I've been recruited to the fantasy football. I did all right.
You did. So I have 2 teams. I have one that I run, and we're actually have 12 people this year. He's like, can I get on your team? And people laugh because I do auto draft, meaning that the computer just does. Yeah, see, everybody says that, but mine's only a $10 buy-in. But I'm on your husband's league. He invited me last year, and I won my $1,000.
Yes.
But what was funny about that is a couple people on his league that had won previously, or I think he said it was always in the top 3 or something. I kicked him out. And it was by not a technicality, but because everything's drafted, it was like by 0.02 point or something.
Like that never happened.
Yeah, a recalibrated interception yardage the next day. So I was like, oh, ouch for the person I kicked out. But that was pretty fun for me. I was like, oh my gosh, I won. He goes, yes, you did. And I got invited back. So
me too.
We both got invited back. I'm not sure if we're invited back because they're like, oh no, they're good players. They're like, well,
for
first
entertainment,
we want your money. For entertainment. But I know that some of the men on fantasy football, they're like, oh, the girls, and we're like, hey, there's a stereotype. We're talking about babysitting dads versus the girls in football. Hey, now
we could do this too. We could do stuff.
We could do stuff. Yeah.
It's crazy though, because I have found Daryl in like quite the hysterical circumstances all centered around football. I'm sure Tom, I mean, whether it be football or baseball, has been in a very questionable situation. Like, wait, what did I miss?
What I miss? Well, with us, we've been together 22 years, married almost 20. And so it's just funny because he basically, when I mentioned, 2 clicks away from painting his face, he used to be, let's go, we can watch it at a sports bar and around people who are, football fans. And as he's gotten older, he wants his big TV at home. He wants nobody saying stuff to him. He wants to be able to yell at the TV. And oh my gosh, if you are a football fan at my house and you're not a Steelers fan, he's going to hate on you. And he'll be really pissed if his team's losing. Now, if your team is losing, he's a happy camper.
Of course.
But I just remember one Super Bowl with the Seattle Seahawks. It was 2008. And my brothers and my sister-in-laws all live up in Portland. I was just there. And so they don't have a football team. So they usually like the Seattle Seahawks. And
they do have really nice jerseys.
They do. The whole green and blue. Well, they basically came down in Seattle Seahawk t-shirts just to piss my husband off. Piss my Tom
Seahawks
off. Yeah, and they walk in the house, and he's like, "Are you kidding me? Your family right now?
Get out!"
And so he's in the living room, and there's half Steeler fans and half of all these Seattle, t-shirts. But the best part of that was that we were having a pool party because it was a big party and we had a pool and we had TVs in and out. And the kids were swimming and going out and everything and in and out of the house. But the women were outside and we were outside at the TV by the pool. The men were inside with the big TV, of course. And ours was on a delay because they had the DirecTV, and I think we actually had cable outside at the time, because that was 2008. And so we'd hear what happened before they would. And so we'd hear a touchdown and be like, yes. And they're like, so basically at one point they slammed the door on us. So because they were like, we don't want to hear from you guys. So
rude.
That's kind of funny. And, and he just wants I said, do you want to go to a game? For his 60th birthday, I was going to actually take him to Pittsburgh, get a luxury box.
Nice.
And the whole thing, do like Bettis's restaurant. And he's never seen a game in the Pittsburgh Stadium.
Oh, come on. Tom has got to do that.
He was I think he tailgated and his grandfather took him to a game. And I don't think they actually went in the park. I think it was at the park, but I don't remember the circumstance. But he was a young boy. No. But he's like, well, that would be nice and all, but. And I'm like, no. And so. What
kind of fan are you, Tom?
I know. I've been to one here, when it was in San Diego, but. Which was super fun because it was crazy. It was all Steeler fans, and Mike Vick was quarterbacking because Ben Roethlisberger was hurt, and we won in the last 6 seconds. Just from
what a great game to go to.
It was fantastic,
live.
And all the terrible towels, and it was awesome.
Yeah, no, that is awesome. I love a good in-person game. I mean, I would totally take like the opposite fan coming into my home and doing the crazy than what I had to deal with this past Super Bowl, because we had a house full of different fans this past Super Bowl.
Just football fans.
Yeah, football fans. We did have somebody who was a fan of a team playing, and it was the Eagles, and so it got really amped and really motivated. But my husband tries to act like he's not a grown adult now and that he can hang like we used to do back in college. And suddenly the child comes out because they want to go shot for shot on like every point scored.
Yeah. And
I'm like, you guys can't hang. What is this? And no. Let's do more shots. Shots. Everybody shots. I'm like, what? We are way too old to be doing this. But nope, sure enough, my husband's assed out on the floor, missed the whole last section of the game, which was intense. And he is much larger than I, as strong and as strong of a woman as I feel that I am. And I do pack a mean punch. I cannot carry that man as dead weight.
I know you can't.
He was facing the toilet. And I'm like, you gonna just have to, like, just don't drown, buddy. I'm gonna catch you in the morning, because you good?
Self-inflicted,
You
yeah.
good? The towel feels great, doesn't it? That porcelain, nice and cold.
No, you totally gave me grief.
And it was...
That's awesome.
It's what sucked, though, is that he insisted on throwing this party. And I told him, I'm not cleaning anything.
Oh.
I said, if you want to have this party, I'm not cleaning. Well, an intoxicated, passed out, drunk is not a good cleaning individual.
No, that's not a good cleaning.
So guess who cleaned?
Oh.
So yeah, I mean, so my recommendation is always going to be never take shots on a football game.
Never take shots.
There's a lot of points and conversions and situations that take place. Unless you're doing like, oh, let's take a shot for every touchdown.
Yeah. Well, you probably have kids somewhere, so you couldn't do shots.
Oh, no. I was completely sober because someone had to not babysit.
Not babysit. Yeah, there we go. Not babysit the dads. Yeah.
Oh, God. There was so much babysitting.
But you've got some games coming up that you've got to be excited about.
Yeah. It's actually, I'd say it's a super small. I wouldn't say super small. It's a super awesome small victory for me because in years past, we haven't been able to travel or enjoy ourselves much in that kind of situation where we get to go to things live. We get to enjoy them on the television at home with the kids in their safe environments, and accommodations are all there and they can take their naps. So we actually get to go to not one but two games. One is going to be the opening game at StubHub here in California
Nice.
against the Chargers, and a friend of ours is coming out from Missouri, Kansas City, and we're gonna go. We spent a pretty penny on that.
Wow.
And then subsequently we're actually going to be going to a home game, and I'm super excited, and I wouldn't be able to do it without my amazing co-host Terry. You have the ultimate connections, so
shout out to American Airlines. We got miles and points and everything, so I'm excited I could do that for you guys.
Well, you're flying out my husband because I'm already going
Yep.
on a business trip.
Yeah.
So it'll be a
get
little
him so
hard
late, yeah.
though, because I'll be away from the babies for the longest I've ever been. But I'll get it split up a little bit with Daryl and my amazing mom, who always comes through. I couldn't imagine. I can't thank her enough. But she's flying out from out of state to come watch the babies. So that way, not only I can go on my business trip because my husband's weird hours, so someone's got to be able to pick up and drop off the kids. She's going to do that. And then also be there while Daryl comes out for a few days to meet me.
Right. I'm excited. And that's your anniversary week.
And my anniversary,
Right.
8 years married
That
in
is gonna be
October.
awesome. I'm so excited for you guys.
Yeah,
Do that.
so small,
That's
but a
awesome.
huge
Yeah.
victory.
No, those are, I love those moments because, and he's funny because he works with me, for those of you that haven't heard that before. So we have a working relationship as well. And I'm like, are you excited about that? He goes, I'm going to be getting excited the week before.
Yeah, I
He
mean,
goes,
it's a home
now
game. It's his
he goes,
dream.
right now, it just hasn't hit me yet. He goes, I'm like looking, oh yeah, I have that coming up. He goes, but the week before, he goes, I'm going to be freaking out a little bit. I'm like, okay, well, I have just one request. He goes, what's that? I'm like, I need some spicy barbecue sauce because I know you're going to get KC barbecue sauce, and I haven't been to Kansas City in a while. So he's like, done and done.
You already know he's going to bring home his own.
I know.
And don't think that he's not going to be laying out all of his Chiefs gear. We're going to have, like, the whole bed is going to be covered in different Chiefs gear. And he's going to be picking out the layers and layers and layers of which he's going to be wearing those. And I'm sure I'll post it on social media.
Nice.
I mean,
I
as
love
long as
that.
you'll allow it, Steelers.
Nice. I love it. Well, yeah, we might. Yeah. But I have to post mine then too. As long as it's good for one, good for the other.
You need to go to a home game.
That's
what you need to do.
Actually, I think I just need to hold up a poster that shows that I won your husband's fantasy league last year. That's what I really want to do.
Okay,
and
have
I
you
want to
seen
tag him in
the
it.
show The League?
No, I don't think
The
so.
League. Oh, you need to watch the show. It's not on like any more like new episodes, but The League.
bad, yeah.
You need to go back and watch this. But you are like,
I thought you were going to say Ballers. That show's terrible. I hate that. I hate that show. Like, that's such a stupid show. Sorry, HBO, but
you need to like Chalupa Batman they named one of the kids because
funny.
that was one of the bragging rights. The winner got to name the baby that was like on its way.
Yeah.
And so Chalupa Batman is the baby.
Oh no, that's great.
And there was a whole bunch of other stuff, Sheba and all that good stuff. But the sign, to say the least, is like the smallest thing that you could probably do.
That's awesome. Well, so I like your small and big victory. I think
Yeah.
that's awesome.
I'm sure
So-
you've got one for me.
Well, I do, and actually it has to do with you. And
What?
it came up this weekend, and it came up today. So coming back from a trip today, and thank goodness for Korren, because apparently on my flight, the computer decided not to work before we even got in the air. And then the captain decided he wanted to tell us that. Who wants to know? I don't want to know. But he's like, oh, it's no big deal, folks. Well, you're going to get in the air. We just have to make sure Seattle's aware of it. We're like, and we're on the tarmac. So we get in the air and everything, and we're about 20 minutes
So wait,
from
this was
landing.
before you took off?
Yeah, before we took off, there was a problem. And then 20 minutes before landing, the captain gets on and goes, so folks, as we can kind of feel the plane starting to descend a little bit. So the computer stopped working again twice in the air. So we're on a backup right now, computer. Nothing to worry about, though. And I'm like, okay, well, this is it. And I'm starting to
This
freak
is how
out.
it's going to end.
Yes.
Here
and
we
I'm
go.
just like, here we go. Yep. So
I didn't do the
apparently-
dirty laundry.
Right, I know. I'm like, shoot.
I gotta clear out my phone.
Where's my diary? No. All of a sudden, you're like, shoot. Where's the life insurance policies? But so then he's like, but don't worry. But we have to divert to LAX, and I usually fly into Orange County, and so that would have been coming back to our office where we record, and it would have been maybe 25 minutes difference. Well, Korren was awesome. She came and picked me up in Los Angeles. She lives in Long Beach, so it was really helpful to us because it was basically halfway between Orange County and Los Angeles. But the traffic, so it should have been that 20 minutes, ended up being 2 extra hours out of our day, which are like, oh my gosh. But
and anyone who knows LA traffic, I mean, it could
it
be
is
12 miles and
bad
it'll
on
take an
Sunday.
hour.
Yeah, it took forever just to get out of the airport. But my small victory is, and I want to talk about this to the moms out there who are struggling, who are having moments, who are just thinking that this is just never going to end if you've got a sick kid at home, or if you have, you have to take some time off work, or if, just because you're dealing with kids, you're dealing with family, maybe you have a death in the family, something going on, you need to ask for help. And you need to make sure you know who your support system is. Even if it's a friend, if you don't have family around, whoever it is, but you need to ask. And I know that's a tough thing to do for you moms out there. You feel like you're alone. You feel like it's just you. And my small victory today is I think I finally got Korren to understand that she is now one of my absolutely favorite people and best friends on the planet. And she is just such an awesome parent and an awesome mother with everything she does. And I'm hoping now she asks, because there's nothing I would not do for her. So I'm really hoping that she learned that lesson today. And if she did, that's a small victory for me, because she needs to ask. And so those of you who are out there, just ask. I mean, people could say no, but at least ask for help. We're here for you. If you need to just vent to us, we're happy to hear from you. So, always let us know on any platform we're at. But that's my small victory today. And I think she heard me. So hopefully she did. And if you'd see her face right now across from me, I'm kind of making her cry a little bit, because she's like that. She's kind of sappy, but we love her. But she has a lot on her plate. And I want her to know that not only am I here for her, but I'm sure the listeners are too. So.
And to be completely honest, I was not ready for you to
I
say
know
that.
You
How
weren't.
dare you say that? But I recently have been communicating with several of my friends who are some stay-at-home moms and some working moms, and they have kids similar ages, and it's a rough road out there, and parenthood is slightly relentless, and I know that I can't be the only one, and I know, Terry, you know that you are not the only one, and that's part of why we're doing this podcast. We really want to reach out to our listeners and remind everybody that you're not alone, you're not the only one, and that's why we try to make light and find the humor in the struggle of being a mom and being a parent, because it truly does take a village, but I actually know very few people who have the village to help them. And I know I live out here in California, and my mom, my sisters, the people I grew up with don't live in California. And I know a lot of friends who have maybe some support, little support, or a lot of support. It doesn't matter. It's hard. It is hard, but it's worth it.
It is worth it.
It is so hard, and it's even harder to ask for help, because people are used to just getting it done.
Well, and you, as moms, you don't want to feel like you can't handle it.
Yeah.
And
you feel like you're failing.
And as a mom who's already been through the formative years and the kid years, I'm kind of reliving it now through you. And I mean, I think you're amazing and you're a champion. And the fact that you've got double duty with both kids, and you do have a spouse that works very long hours. So a lot of times I'm sure you feel like a single parent. And for the moms out there, the dads out there, the spouses out there, anybody who's out there, that even if you have a partner and you have help, but they're not maybe always present, or if you're just a single parent and you're listening in, even if you just need the help just to vent to somebody, just ask for it. See if you can ask for it. Just find that person that you can at least just get that out. So, shout out to all the moms out there. We just love you to pieces. And I just wanted to make sure that Korren knew that we're all here for her too, but especially me. So, because we love her. So we're going to go ahead and call it a day, and we want everybody to make it a great day. So we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you for listening to the BunLife Podcast. For more information on all things BunLife, go to thebunlife.com. Don't forget to subscribe, whether it be on iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or your favorite podcast provider, so you don't miss an episode. Until next time.
I'm good. I'm good. Yep. Hands up. Yep. Hands up. Clap. 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 Say it with me. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. That's right. Yeah, I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. I'm good. Thank you. Woo, woo. Curtis King on the beat.